I recently had the opportunity to sit down with a group of guys and interview them. Not just any bunch of guys, but a slot-carring family, and they've been doing it for a very long time. So this is an interview with the Scriven boys. Grab yourself a cold one, sit back and enjoy. Alright, so we're sitting down with the Scriven boys. We've got Dave, Jeff and Shane, and we'd just like to ask them a few questions, how they got themselves into slot car racing and what their experiences have been. So we'll start with Jeff. Jeff, how did you get into slot cars? What got you interested in them?
Well, I started back in about 1963 with my brother. We bought a Scarlet set between us, and we had it set up in Mum's lounge room, over the couches, under the tables. We had it everywhere. Then we gradually bought a lot of cars. Every time we went out, we bought a car, and we started going to the city to Melbourne to buy cars. We met two guys, one at Hartley's and one at Edmondson's, and they introduced us to a group in Ashwood where we used to travel an hour and a quarter every Thursday night, race for 2 hours, and come home again. We started off in a guy's garage in Ashwood, and they got so many members we moved to a shop down the road. They hired a shop, and we just paid so much a week to go racing there. And we done that for about 2 years. And we moved, they started the track in Brunswick, over Newsagents I think it was. And we raced there for about 3 or 4 years. We had a couple of 24-hour races there, 124th, which I never really built or had 124th cars. I've always been a 132nd fan. And and then after that, I kind of slowed down a bit, just raced at home and got married, took my slot cars with me. And David come along. A couple of years later, Shane come along, and I was wrapped. I could buy slot car sets for Christmas every year after that.
I thought you were going to say they would have cutting the handbrakes.
Honestly, we did. Carol and I, we did buy slot cars for them because they did like it. I did buy when Shane was 2. I was lucky enough to get a race tune BRM, and so I won't tell you who stood on it and broke the chassis. But I repaired it, and
No, tell us.
no, it wasn't you.
And we've still got that car.
We've still got the
it's on the
car.
shop. We still drive it every.
We still drive it.
It's still going.
Yeah,
It's got the car. We drive it every week. I drive it.
well, Shane's done a video on my brother's slot car room. I think he's got about 900 cars there, all mainly historic Scar Electrics. I had trouble borrowing a Maserati 300S off him the other day, so I could have the free cars run at Pat Slots up in Tabletop. And so from there on we've raced a fair bit. Dave and Shane have done more racing over the last couple of years than I have. I've kind of backed off a bit, and
Still quick though.
I was still quick.
He's
Yeah,
good. Goes good. He got 5th in the
I got
Revo
fifth.
slot.
Got fifth in Revo slot Porsche.
Last night. That was good.
But we've raced at Phoenix Slot Car Group,
Oscar races.
Brunswick Slot Car Club. We did a few, my brother and I done a few back in the late 60s all around Melbourne, Northcote and Tullamarine, Nidri. I'm forgetting a few, I know that.
Peters.
Peters, Mr. Slot Car. Well, I race at Mr. Slot Car every Thursday morning, not for the last 4 weeks though, because I've been pretty busy. So when you retire, you're running out of time. So that's about my story of slot car racing. I have owned up to 500 or 600, but when I scaled down, I gave a lot to the boys and my grandkids, which they're all interested. And my biggest problem now, I've got a how old Charlotte? 9.
9 now.
And in the same car around Slot Hub's track, she's a second slower than me. And boy, that's a big problem. So if Dave and Shane would like to say something now, they're quite welcome.
You got third in the nationals at Mr. Slotcarring in Dandenong.
Well, yeah, Mr. Slotcar.
Yeah, he's a few top fives.
Top fives in the nationals.
Yeah, so you do learn how to drive a little bit. So, yeah.
Over 60 years.
How many tracks you've had? About 6?
I've had 6 tracks.
Yeah.
I've got a Mr. Slotcar track at the moment, which is very good. I'm redoing it because I felt, my mate Shane Hughes from Queensland, Mr. Hughes' garage, and Dick's track, and I go home and look at my track and say, God.
You want a Taylor Swift like
No, I do not want
I know where you can get one.
I don't want any like that.
Cheap.
I've got a few DG Raceway trees going up.
He pinned some trees
So,
there.
Oh, did he? You want some more?
Yeah,
I'll get some more for you.
I make a few country fences with wire and posts and things like that, and a few oil drums and things like that. I do like putting videos up of my cars, and that's about my life at the moment.
When you were racing, did you have access to a lot of spare parts, or did you have to repair everything?
Well, Scale Electric back in the day, when a wheel fell off, there was no super glue. You went and bought a new axle.
Okay.
If you could get one.
Because they come with the wheels.
Yeah,
and the gear.
Now, as you mentioned that, when we started racing Scale Electrics on Scale Electric track, it was good. When we moved to wood track, they were getting too much traction for a Scale Electric tyre, which is hard to believe these days. So we had to pull them apart, cut a little bit of plastic out and solder the motor to the back end, which if I knew you were going to do this, I've still got some at home. I've had for 60 odd years. I showed Shane the other day, and used to solder the motor to the back axle to stop it bouncing.
So the motor swings out. So take the motor, it's got a little pinion, and it swings up and down to lift the motor.
Yeah, because
when it gets gripped, that bracket doesn't hold those 2 little brackets here, and it just goes like that. It's like a Nico.
It's
Nico
got the Nico hop,
Yeah.
so that's how it has.
But when you measure the Scale Electric axle, it was 332, which was good, and the bearings, the brass bearings either side, were about 7,000 bigger than the axle, which allowed for that to hop. So it's just, well, back in the day, Scale Electric was the name, and if we didn't have Scale Electric back in the day, we wouldn't have nothing like we got now.
100%.
So you've got to thank Scale Electric for doing that. Even the tin plates, I did have 2 tin plates on lay-by, but I cut my hand and that fell by the wayside, so I haven't got any tin plates.
Interesting.
So
Very interesting.
it's been a long time, part of life.
Yeah.
I've upset my wife once. She's never said nothing, but I needed some wheels one day. I went and bought 3 Back to the Future cars because I wanted the wheels off them. So
As you do.
as you do,
That would be a good play.
but people say it's a waste of money. But when you buy a car and pull it apart, you get wheels, you get motor, you get axles, you get guide pins. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
That's what I tell her anyway.
You get more spare parts than just the wheels.
And that's
But
where
she thought I was buying it for Dave and Shane.
Oh, that's all right then.
I've got the bodies.
He's got the body.
I actually tried giving the bodies a pat and he didn't want them because he loves Back to the Future cars.
Yeah.
He didn't want them, so he's got his.
we could just chuck some staff wheels on or something, and
Oh, you can have the bodies if you want.
bodies and chassis.
Yeah, it's all complete. Just
Yeah.
don't just strip the wheels off. That's
Yeah, I
it.
took the wheels off.
You can have them if you
One
like.
for each of
I
us.
don't want them.
I also bought the Lotus Elite because I wanted the wheels for a hot rod, which Shane now owns. And I put a scrap pile on vintage Scale Electric the other day, and the guy saying, "Look, you've got a Scale Electric Elite there. What'd you do that for?" That's what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
So it's called the Scriven scrap pile.
A bit of fair pile.
I've got one.
There's a few piles.
There's a few piles.
So Dave and Shane, how did you guys? You just fell into it. You had no choice, really.
No, we didn't. We were thrown in head first. So,
Yeah.
As Dad's just said, you know, cars. He had them all the time. Got married, had kids, still had cars, tracks. Made his own tracks. I remember one track in the garage in Bundoora. He tried to make a lift up off the ground.
Yeah.
That's right.
The timber one.
Yeah.
It was pretty heavy because he had metal fences. Remember the
Yeah,
metal,
metal
fences?
fences, yeah.
Little fences, yeah.
Steel fences.
Steel.
And the mountains and the
But the
plaster.
only race I had them was the Scale Electric track was Scale Electric fence was too close to the track, and at the time I was bringing up 2 kids, one single way. I couldn't afford to buy the extra wide bit, so
He
we had
made
to
it work.
makeshift, made it work.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then Dave came along the scene. I met Dave?
With V32.
Yeah,
I think
probably
20 years.
he's 16, 17 years
Yeah,
easy.
close, yeah.
And then I was introduced to Shane.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah, sorry about that. We
I still
both
hold it against him. So Shane,
Excuse me.
when you started
Yeah.
with slot cars, you both found a talent because you're
Yeah.
both bloody quick drivers. But
Yeah.
how did you learn to tune the car like you do? Because you based your YouTube channel on that,
Just
but a lot of people are taking your advice.
yeah, just practice and just pulling the car apart and doing little things, doing one thing at a time. Don't do 10 things at a time because you won't work out what worked. So just pull your cars apart, enjoy them, and use them, and you'll learn eventually. It's not that hard. Everyone can do it, and that's how I did it. Just slowly. And Dad and friends we race with on Saturday nights, teachers and people like Harry Wise,
You're always
YouTube.
learning something.
Yeah.
You always learn something. Well, Shane learned and David learned a lot from. They raced go-karts for about 3 years.
Oh, more than that.
More than that,
4
yeah.
years.
They had a bit of sponsors from a very large company that the three of us worked for, and they learned a lot about tuning go-karts,
Yeah.
which still carries on to whatever motor racing you do, whether it be a hobby or a RC. You learn how to tune a vehicle to make it go better,
Mm-hmm.
and they learn a lot from that. Yeah.
And the thing is, years ago when it was mainly scale electrics, you had to do a lot of work on them, so that's where you learn trial and error.
Yeah.
Now, we're spoiled with NSRs and Revos. Revos you have to do a little bit too, but NSRs out of the box pretty much.
Yeah.
Very minimal. You loosen up the body and it's easy, so we're very spoiled now.
And even when we were racing in the shed in Bundoora, there was no that years we were racing, there was no magnets.
Yeah.
Right.
No
There
magnets.
was no magnets. It was like your BRMs and your Brabhams and your Shadows. None of those cars had magnets. So we learned to race with no magnets.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't race magnet now. Maybe that's why we've got a little bit of a talent.
But was it also in the early days you didn't have magnet brake?
No.
So the brake
No.
wasn't
Because
magnet.
there's no
track, so
magnet.
it was just all
No
Yeah, there was no magnet in these
scale electric
cars.
track.
The only magnet in a slot car was on the end of that RX motor.
And some of the slot cars too, because Scarlet track back in the day was a bit lumpy, and when they started doing these new cars with the full chassis, they had this magnet on the bottom that was stuck on glue. And when it was so hot in the shed, those magnets would get like, they'd move and fall off.
Yeah.
So we'd take the magnets off straight, because they'd be hitting the bottom of the track, and plus,
Sticking to the track.
yeah, and they'd be moving and they'd be clicking and clacking, so we just took magnets
That's
off.
why they put them on the inside of the chassis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yes, that's why.
Oh, there you go.
But there's been some brilliant cars through Scar Electric. Some of their cars are too good to race now. You don't want to break them.
All slot cars are no too good
Well,
to
all
race.
slot cars are that now. You go and buy an NSR or a Revo slot or a Thunder slot. They go like crazy and
Yeah.
Most cars now you can buy, the finish is fantastic. It's spot on, 100%. The paint, the decals,
The chrome.
everything. It's really good.
well, see, the original Scar Electrics had the only decal was a number, and that was it.
A little roundel with a number.
Well, you got the little sheet with it. You got a little
Yeah, little sheet.
water slide sheet.
Firestone and
Yeah,
Goodyear
you put your own decals on, so they never come with decals. You get like a little sheet of stickers.
Now, if I would have known we were doing this video, I would have brought some cars. Shane would have brought some.
That's
Dave.
all right.
Some of the
That's
old,
not
some of the
bad.
older ones.
Just
I did do a video 20 minutes ago. Some old cars, Scar Electrics through time.
Do you remember us spraying CRC on the track and doing
Yeah.
burnouts?
I was going to bring that up.
So we used to spray.
Yeah.
We used to start at the longest. The track
It was
huge.
something like that.
It wasn't a little track. It was huge. It was big,
Yeah.
5 meters long by 2 meters. It was a massive track. And we used to spray CRC on the track at the start of the straight. And me and Dave used to
See how
just
long we could burn out.
do like a snaky up because the CRC would leave 2 marks, and you could see 2 big snaky marks. Then you come in 2
Who's
days.
in the making.
Ah, so if I try this when I make my Batmobiles video,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want the back the feature car to leave the fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you
Just try a dab of water on each side.
Yeah.
That's better for it all now.
Yeah, well, you want to
dab
go
of
and
water
get one of
on
those
each
smoker things they're putting in the trains now and put inside the car, and the smoke comes out.
Yeah.
And you come in 2 days later and the tyres are like concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've actually fallen
That's
off.
why
Dave saying don't
Yeah.
use the CRC.
That's why we didn't have to do it after a few days.
The tyre's actually fallen off the rim. It's cracked and it's just fallen off the rim. They didn't have to take the tyre off. And you'd have that coming in. Yeah, getting.
What's going
What,
on?
what he's done, stop. Then the CRC would go up higher on the shelf. It's just then you use the oil. It's just,
I use those M1s, those BMW M1s.
yeah, it was everything. We did everything. We wrecked everything. But we've still got all those cars and little kids. We've still got the majority of them.
Yeah.
I reckon I've got about 20 of them still. Easy.
I've got a few in the scrap pile.
Yeah. They're all there.
So yeah, it was good times. I was going to say something, but I forgot then. Anyway, it might come back tomorrow.
Any final thoughts?
Um,
How did you enjoy the weekend?
Yeah,
Well,
this weekend.
while we're on this, I must thank Pat Slots and his wife Katie for an absolutely brilliant weekend.
The whole family.
Well, the whole family actually, because they've been the best hosts on the planet. So yeah,
and I thought I could cook food pretty good.
so did I.
I've learned something today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sending Beck up here
that
to
was-
hang out with
I'm
Katie in the
next,
kitchen.
next time the
Maybe
food.
get Katie to do a video on how she's doing some of the cooking and that, right? So we can take that.
Take notes.
Well, we're getting Carol, my missus, Shane's Mrs. Beck, and Nicole David's missus all in the car together and sending them up next weekend for cooking lessons. I hope you're not watching Carol.
No, we're coming too.
Oh, we're coming too,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got something.
But
Yeah,
it's amazing how Pat's track has come into absolutely brilliant racing. How it started off over 4 or 5 weeks ago, and what it is today is absolutely one of the best tracks I've raced on.
Yeah,
it's
it's a pure racers track.
Yeah, it is a
It really
racer's
is.
track.
Yeah.
Now, we're all down around 7 seconds. We've all won a couple of races or been up in a couple of tenths of a second between first and second. So it's absolutely brilliant.
But
And
no
that's
one,
across 10 races.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
just, you know, a
Yeah,
couple
not
of
just
races.
one
Pat
race.
was top 5 a couple of times.
No,
I
Pat was top 5.
yeah.
So,
It's only been fun too. No,
and our mate uses his garage sitting here. He's getting too quick. We won't invite him again.
yeah, because he's got freaking 10 magnets in his cars.
I'll take the training next time.
We'll take the training wheels, will you? So thanks for doing this for us, Dick. It's been a pleasure.
Shane?
No, it's
Yeah.
my
Yeah, it's
pleasure.
been a great
Shane?
weekend catching up with
Yeah.
everyone again. And
It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
thanks to Shane from driving down from Queensland and
Overnight.
yeah.
Overnight.
I still can't get my head around that. I really can't. I'm looking for the
I just do it every
helicopter.
night.
You on that?
Yeah,
So,
I know.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Joe.
mate.
Let's hope
Thanks,
that
thanks,
gives
Dick.
everyone an insight into how a family goes racing over
Yeah.
the generations. Thank you very much.
60 years.
60 years.
60 years of
63
racing.
years this March, I think it is.
That's
And
awesome.
I know my brother and I went halves. Actually, what I was going to say, I bought a track the other day. How long did we go? 8 weeks? 10 weeks?
Yeah, I've had it for 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 months.
Got to do another video.
And
Yeah.
I got up early one Saturday morning and seen it there. Text Shane straight away. There's a track for sale down near your joint, $80. Two C68 Coopers, fencing, track, transformer, everything, $80. I text him, go get it straight away. So in Winston moaned about it.
I did a video on it, and Dad's done the cars. What we're going to do now is clean the track up and rewire the transformer.
We're going to do a video on it and,
Yeah.
of old Scar Electrics,
Old slot cars. Never
old
died.
slot cars, Scar Electrics.
They just go
The
fast.
beginning of Scar Electric.
Wow,
That's
really?
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
got to document that.
Well, that
Yeah,
was a bargain.
the box says made in Fairfield, Victoria, but unfortunately the 2 Coopers are made in England. But I did give Shane a Lotus, which was made in Australia, and I gave him one made in France, which I didn't know about when I gave him. So, but he's restored them brilliant, so I can't complain.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, but I want to get my brother's a shed. He's got a lot.
Yep.
But he's leaving it to all his middle child.
Paul Scriven.
Paul Scriven.
How many cars Paul got?
He probably had 300.
Yeah, probably
easy.
300. Yeah.
That's just being generous.
And he does run on a genuine Scar Electric track
Massive track.
with magnets.
Yeah.
We don't go there very often.
But there's something for everyone, isn't there?
We catch.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah, we catch up probably once, maybe twice a year
Yeah,
at my house mostly.
Yeah.
There's probably about 6 of us
yeah,
normally.
yeah.
Uncle Graham and Paul.
I think you did a video on that, didn't you?
Yeah, Graham's, last.
Did I?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah, you
You
did.
did a walkthrough. His
Yeah,
car and stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was at his house. Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah.
about my when we do it.
Right, your
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
okay.
Which we're due. Actually, we're going back to Graham's in February, I think.
Yeah, February.
I'll do a
Graham
video
wants us
there,
back down there.
Yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, we do keep in contact. Not a lot, but just enough to stay out of trouble. You know, family like.
You know, what families like.
So Paul's old school, and he grew up with a magnetic
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Star
so
electric track.
Paul doesn't
Right,
own a Revo slot or an NSR.
No.
He's just strictly
He's-
Star Electric.
He knows what he's
He's-
got. He
Paul
sticks with it.
sticks with the scalies,
Yeah,
and that's,
yeah.
Like that swap meet we went to in Ringwood about a month ago. Like I brought a Revo slot and an NSR. He brought just a bag full of
Scale electric.
scale electric bodies, gears, axles,
yeah.
old tyres. That's just old school scale electric, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's cool.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Really
if you
cool.
can pick up an old genuine scale electric back end or something like that, you're laughing.
Yeah,
Hard to find the old stuff.
Oh, it is.
we got a lot.
Guide pins, that's going to be the problem.
Mm.
Yeah,
If I see a guide pin, the round guide peg, or whatever, the
two-piece- two-piece one.
the two first versions,
Yeah.
I buy them straight away.
Yeah.
$26 I think I paid for the last one. For a guide pin, that was slot car was cheaper, but no one, it was £1.15.
£1.50. What's that in dollars?
Oh, who knows?
Is that a question? One of those hard questions?
It is.
Well, I gave you the box.
Definitely a hard question, that one.
I gave
Now I'm
you
going to have to
the,
research it and put it in.
yeah, I gave you the original box from bloody from Fairfield, didn't I?
Okay, yeah. I've got a lot of original boxes too.
He's got even the ones from Fairfield. He's got
Yeah.
back in they're 65 years old.
That's fantastic. You've got to get them out and do a video on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I've got to do video.
Yeah.
It's not something everyone sees every day.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, I've started building a lot of hot rods and things, resin bodies and
Scratch building.
scratch building. That's the word.
Yeah.
And Shane puts a lot on his, and people want him to see go.
Yeah,
So,
which I've got to do, yeah.
He's got to do it.
There's so many videos to do.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
just a mind Davis
it's
racing,
time.
where we've
It's
been
the
all over
time.
Australia racing.
Yeah.
It's just so
Well,
much.
what about? Well, we'll talk about that, Shane, because you went to New South Wales a few times and
Yeah,
raced.
so what was it?
Dappo.
Extreme tracks in Dapto.
In Dapto, Nationals there. I think you've won 7 or 8 national titles.
Something like
I
that.
think I've won 6 or 7. That's really close, Dick.
No, it's not.
yeah.
It might look close, but it's not.
David's been to Adelaide in Thunderbird for the Nationals. He's raced there. We've been what's it called?
Hornsby, which is now closed down.
Yeah,
It's finished
Hornsby.
now. Unfortunately, I used to
yeah.
like going there.
So we used to travel to race a lot, but now David's got 3 kids. I've got a daughter now, so
And a dog.
and a dog at Wrexham House. So
Well,
we're
it's
slowed
just in the
down.
shed.
Yeah, so we're slowed down with the racing a bit, but at one stage there we'll travel all over Australia to race the
You can't do
Nationals.
that forever.
No, you can't. And I don't enjoy the competition anymore. I'd rather buy a car and just look at it, tune it, and enjoy it instead of racing the bollocks out of it. You know what I mean?
Because people are beating you.
Yeah.
It's all no maintenance money.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one, Shane. We're gonna do.
Alright.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
me a bit more practice.
But you're going to have to move to Victoria if you want us to come and race in your track.
Oh,
No, we got to get to Shane's house.
Yeah.
We need to get to Shane's house.
I want
But,
to
you know-
clean the pool.
But
Oh, you got a pool. He's got a pool
He's
too.
got
He has got a
Definitely
pool.
going.
Oh, yeah.
So last night, say we in Pat's pool. What time? 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we've been racing slot cars like 10 hours
yeah.
in 38 degrees.
Yes.
Yep.
Then
Which was good. 'cause
Which
Pat
is
was-
good.
Had hired an air conditioner.
Had an air
shed, which
conditioner.
you'll probably see in the videos. It was fantastic. It was,
yeah.
it
Then
made-
we all had a bath together.
With the praying mantises.
in the bird
Yeah,
bath.
and
Kamikaze bugs out here.
and Dick kept dropping the soap. I don't know why he brought it, but anyway. But
But for the hour that we were in the
I
water,
I like to be clean.
yeah,
for the hour that we were in the water or so, I reckon it was just as much fun as racing the cars.
yeah.
Ah, it's a
I
good
was
chat.
But it was
Yeah.
the end of the day, relaxation.
Yep.
I'm old, I went to bed. Air conditioned room, a fan going after a nice shower.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone here would say that they didn't enjoy themselves.
It was a ripper.
Well,
ripper.
Pat and Katie have been the best toast I've ever raced with.
What about my family?
Hey, hang on, your family, you've got to do it. But everywhere we've gone, Dick's house, David's house, Shane's house, my brother's house,
Alex.
Alex's house, it's all been brilliant.
Yeah. And we met. There's a couple of guys here that I hadn't met before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you walk away like mates. You walk
Yeah, you
away
do.
with a new friend, and that's one of the best
Well,
things
put
about
it this way,
hobby.
look at Pat. Pat's been, involved in slot cars 3-4 years, and he's one of the best persons around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, David and Shane here, Shane's garage, they're all known around the world now just for slot car racing.
Yeah.
And most of us only known each other for 6 months.
Yeah.
Even less, some of us.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah.
massive.
That's the best part about the hobby.
Yeah,
Mind
100%.
It is
Yeah, it is.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Well, we raced at, Phoenix, that includes that guy.
Well, we race at someone's house nearly every second Saturday night.
Yeah, back in the day.
Well,
Yeah.
still, I still do it now. Every second Saturday, I'm at someone's house in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So
It's fantastic. isn't
yeah,
it?
it's good fun.
All right, fellas, I think we'll wrap it up there. That's nearly 25 minutes.
Oh,
Not
cool.
bad for someone who didn't want to do it in
No.
the first place.
Dave.
So thank you, Jeff, Dave, and Shane Scriven. Yeah, a great family and a family of slot races. So thank you very much, fellas.
No, thank you. Thank you, Shane. Pete.
Thanks, Shane and Dick.
That was very well done.
You don't have to watch it now.